Hi everyone, thanks very much for clicking on our video. Please be sure to check out our new channel, Diary of a Professional Tennis Coach, or DOAPTC, where you can find our latest podcast episodes where we discuss everything tennis, and keep listening to listen to our latest episode, which features Craig Barty's coach, Craig Tyzzer. Thanks very much, and we look forward to seeing you on our new channel.
Welcome to Diary of a Professional Tennis Coach with Mark Gellard and Candy Reid.
So welcome to everyone to Diary of a Professional Tennis Coach. And for the first time ever, Mark Gellard, we're going to put this on YouTube, and that's thanks to your innovation.
I don't know if that's going to be a good thing for everyone seeing us up close. They had this picture of me being 6 foot and ripped.
And suave.
Yes, very suave. Well, I'm in Italy, so that's about as suave as I'm going to get.
You're in Rome, to be precise.
We're in Rome. We just got here maybe 3 days ago from Madrid. So we had a good week there, or I say a good week, an encouraging week, a positive week. Although it's, as a coach, you're never satisfied with the results. You always want more. But we've arrived in Rome. We've started our training here, preparing for the big tournament that starts here next week.
We've just got a guest on the podcast, just have to introduce him. This is Light the dog, who everybody can generally hear in the background on occasion. So he's part of my tribe. You had one win, one loss in Madrid. The loss was really, really tricky. And a lot of people actually got in touch with me, knowing we do this podcast, to say how unlucky Magda was.
Yeah, it was a tough turnaround from making the final in Rouen, which was an indoor clay event, flying over to Madrid within 24 hours of that final, and then having to play, going from indoor clay to outdoor clay, altitude instead of sea level. So there was a lot of changes, and the first round was very tough against Cocciaretto, a good Italian player that we'd lost to last time we played. So was really satisfied and really encouraged by the way we competed. I would say our competitiveness was probably better than our tennis level in that match. But that was what you want to see after you've got those difficult conditions and the adaptations that needed to take place. But the match with Sabalenka was really, I felt that we were probably, and I wouldn't say this too often, that we were probably the better player that day. And luck was definitely not on our side. And you need some luck sometimes, a couple of unfortunate timings with net cords. And Sabalenka came up with some big shots hitting the outside of lines. And you think, what if that was 2 millimeters the other way? It goes in our way, but that's why she's where she is. She seems to find the right side of the line more often than not. So
that's what the big players do. I think Madrid, for me, was very much about Rafa. Give us your thoughts on him being there and how chaotic it was. And I ask you that because, of course, I was in Barcelona, as we discussed on the last pod, and it was absolutely manic until he lost. Just the press, the media coverage, the people, the fans, even the players. We saw Pedro Cachin, didn't we, ask him at the end after losing to Rafa for a shirt because he was just his idol growing up. And for many, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, when he came there, he had his usual entourage, and he was in the restaurant playing his usual board games. I don't actually know which one it is. I'm not a board game fan, but
I think it's something like drafts, isn't it? Because they were playing it in Barcelona right before matches to keep him calm.
He does a lot of that with his team, and I mean the whole hype and frenzy around every practice he had, and obviously being in Spain where he's from, so it's even bigger than normal. So it was great to see him, and I think we're gonna, certainly me and Magda were talking about it the other day, how much we're gonna miss seeing him around when he's gone, because you've taken it for granted for so long. What a great person he is, and a great player, obviously, but he's I don't know if anyone's ever going to eclipse what he's done in a lot of things.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to win 14 Roland Garros. Is not in our lifetime, I don't think, anyway. And the other big story I thought, Mark, was Danielle Collins. Came in, on a 13-match winning streak, won 13, 14, 15. I actually did her match when she played Jacqueline Christian, who I thought on the day would have probably beaten a lot of the field. Danielle Collins ended up winning in 3, but then Collins lost to Sabalenka. But her run is just extraordinary. And I don't know if you heard her heckling that fan when she was a set down and a game down. I think she took it out on somebody saying, you have no idea what I do. Have some respect.
That doesn't sound like something she'd do normally.
It's not Danielle Collins.
She's a really feisty competitor. I don't think she's as right as she always thinks she is, but she's a hell of a player, and the run that she's been on. And also, I've just talked about adapting from different surfaces. I mean, she went from winning Miami to literally a day or two later going out there and switching surfaces, completely different surface, to winning Charleston. And it's made things very interesting at the top of the game for the female US team, because the Olympics are coming up. And all of a sudden now you notice, for example, Emma Navarro is playing a 125 this week. I think there's some, I don't want to say panic is the right word, but there's a lot of vying for positions there, right? There's only four, maybe five players, four spots for the Olympics.
Yeah.
And Danielle Collins has now put herself in the picture. Obviously you have Coco and Jessica Pegula and all of these other players that are already up there. So it's getting interesting. But what she's done the last month is really incredible. I don't think anyone saw it coming, probably least of all her.
And you got Maddie Keys playing really well again now after just coming back from injury. I was interested in the doubles. Coco Gauff playing doubles with Taylor Townsend instead of Pegula. Do you know why Pegula didn't play doubles?
In Madrid? She didn't play Madrid, period. She was out with injury, so she's not played singles or doubles there.
That would be why. I didn't think I saw her name. That's my mistake. But I was just looking at the Taylor Townsend thing, thinking maybe they're teaming up for the Olympics. But I would imagine it would be Coco and JP.
Yes, I would expect them to continue their partnership, because it always seems to yield pretty successful results. But yeah, Jessica's been out for an extra week or two, I think, just nursing a small irritation injury that she's had.
There we go.
So
yes, that's right. Because I think it was meant to be 19 of the world's top 20 playing Madrid, and then it was 18 because Pegula pulled out. So that's my mistake. I should have known better. I was just in the woods walking my dog, and I was thinking about the best coaches on tour, and I thought, since we've got an interview with one of the best, and anyway, I think in Craig Tyzzer now, I thought we'd talk about our best coaches after we run the interview. So, Mark, this was an interview I actually conducted with him the year after Ash Barty won the Australian Open. So it was the summer down under anyway of 2023. And this is Craig Tyzzer talking all about his experience with Ash Barty, how Wimbledon unfolded when she won that, and also the Australian Open. You, I know, have heard this interview. Any thoughts?
Well, it's a really interesting interview. And when you get to hear from someone that's been a Grand Slam winning coach and has the experience behind them that he does, it's always fascinating to get a glimpse into what their thought process is. And I thought there were some interesting parts to his discussion with you, especially the difficulties the Australians have with travel. And then just listening to what he wants to do next. I think he was quite clear, or adamant, I should say, with you, that the travel part was not something he missed. But I think the tennis coaching at this level is a little bit like a drug addiction, and that you become addicted to the adrenaline that it gives you. It's a rush, the competitiveness, which I think that the club coaches maybe don't have in the same way that we do. And that's something that a lot of coaches from the tour struggle to then transition later on if they don't want to be on the tour anymore. It's very tough to go into a sort of, I don't want to say mundane, that's not the right word, but just that you don't have that adrenaline, that buzz of the match before and after. And you also don't have the downs. That's the other nice part. You know, when you go through periods like we've struggled the last couple of months, it hasn't been fun. There's a lot more bad days and good ones. So it's swings and roundabouts. All
right, so let's play the Craig Tyzzer interview, and then you and I will talk about our best 5 coaches. I've also got Ian Hughes's best 5 coaches as well on a little list. So let's hear from Craig now.